Welcome back to Ghosted, Gagged, and Gay, the podcast where we talk about queer love, messy dating stories, heartbreak, healing, and what it really takes to build relationships that feel safe and real. I'm your host, Lonay, relationship coach and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, and I help queer men break toxic patterns, heal the root of what keeps them stuck, and learn how to choose love from self-worth instead of fear. If you want support, you can always reach out to me, book a free call, and we take it from there. But for today, I'm joined by Lamont White, also known as the gay dating coach. Lamont is the owner of betterwaytomeet.com, a professional matchmaking, dating, coaching, and couples counseling service for gay men in the United States. And I think also abroad, trying to expand. Since 2014, he's matched hundreds of single men and even helped some get married. He has a background in psychology and professional community counseling, and he's also a certified matchmaker. Lamont, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy you're here too. Um, so you are based in the US, right?
So I'm based in the United States in Atlanta, Georgia. So I work primarily with guys here. However, I do dating coaching sessions with guys all over the world. And hot off the press, I may be planning a singles event in London. So I'll
Oh.
definitely keep you posted about that.
Yes, please. That would be
Okay.
amazing.
hmm
So should we dive right into it?
Why
Since
not? Let's do it.
All right. All right, Lemon. So you've matched hundreds of gay men since 2014. So what's like the most common reason that you stumbled upon that two people who really like each other still don't work long term?
Yeah. I think just because you like a guy doesn't mean you are meant to be in a long term relationship with him. So, one of the things I always see is a mix or incompatibility because both of the guys want two different types of relationships. Even though they're like, I like him, he's sweet, he's caring, but he might want to be in charge, or he might want an open relationship, or he might want to be the one who financially supports, or he doesn't. So I think that's number one. Definitely not a good mix based on compatibility. I think the other thing is not being able to properly manage conflict. If you are going to be in a long term relationship, it is a series of managing uncomfortable conversations and managing conflict. So if you can't manage disagreements appropriately, the relationship is not going to work.
Yeah, that is actually golden. Like I also stumble upon that a lot, and also from my own personal dating
Mm,
life, I had that a lot in the past, where either me in the past or the other person couldn't really handle conflict very well, and it always falls apart, no matter how
yeah.
like intensely the attraction or the even like the even if the two people are compatible, still not
Mm,
being able to handle conflicts can really ruin a relationship.
yeah.
And what would you say is like the biggest dating blind spot that you see in otherwise smart, successful gay men?
Yeah. So people might hate me for saying this, but I think on a first date, our professional, really intelligent guys, they want to feel butterflies in their stomach. Like initially, like if I go on this first date, I have to be like nervous. I have to feel excited. I have to really want to take this man home tonight. And sometimes that doesn't happen on a first date. Sometimes it's what we call a slow burn, where you actually meet someone and you're like, he's okay, but I don't know if I'm attracted to him. And the more that you spend time with him and you get to know his personality, what he wants in life, and you hear like his journey and his stories, you start to develop an attraction. So the biggest blind spot I see is guys, they want that initial butterfly. So I would say push past that. If you like what you hear, what you see, go on a second, go on a third date and see if some of that starts to develop.
Yeah, makes sense actually. So like how would you actually differentiate between not having these butterflies out of incompatibility or not having it just because it's a this kind of like slow burn
Yeah.
connection developing?
Yeah, so your body is going to be nervous, it's going to be excited, it's going to be aroused. Your body thinks it's the same thing. Okay, when you talk about chemistry, like, oh, I didn't feel any chemistry. Your nerves, your traction, your body, that's all your body trying to figure out what the hell is going on. If you're really trying to figure out like if this is the guy for you, you need to be looking at what is compatibility to you. Like, do you want a guy who's focused on spirituality, who is focused on fitness, who's focused on advocacy or family? You should be listening to see if he's focused on those things. That's chemistry. If you want real chemistry, it's about compatibility, not how am I feeling in my stomach and in my heart, or if I'm nervous. That fades. So you, when you're dating phase, you have to focus on real. And I know it's hard, but focus on what compatibility means to you.
And yeah, and that brings us to actually, what do you think from your perspective are like the top three compatibility factors that matter most in gay relationships? I mean, I know it can be different for like each person, but
Mm-hmm.
from like the very core
Mm-hmm.
compatibility factors, or at least the factors that you consider in your
Mm-hmm.
like date like coaching practice,
Yeah.
basically.
So I surveyed, Lonay, thousands of gay men to get just to answer this question, right? And so there are actually four things that you're looking for. One is attractiveness, independence, some level of masculinity, and then also sexual compatibility. So we're looking at attractive, like what do you find attractive? Like that's, I might think a guy is handsome. You might say no, Lamont, he's not, right? But we really look at our with our eyes about if the guy is attractive. So that's one. Two, it's a level of independence. No man wants to take care of another man. So we're talking about, can you financially pay your own bills and take care of yourself? There are some guys who like to spoil other guys, but long-term relationships, they want you to be able to contribute financially as well. If not, they will start to resent you if you don't. Masculinity, we talked about that. A lot of gay men want some level of masculinity, even though there are some gay men who want to date guys who are more feminine presenting. They're really looking at confidence. Like, are you able to show up as the best version of yourself and being authentic? And then sexual compatibility, if you're top, if you're bottom, if you're versatile, it's really important in our community. Like, two bottoms are like, this can't work. But that also looks at like, if you're into monogamy, if you're into open relationships, if you're into agreements or poly, we really as gay men focus on sexual compatibility as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds actually amazing. I may add to that actually. Um, I always say there are like three pillars of like a successful relationship, which is the sexual chemistry that you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
the best friendship chemistry. So like,
Yeah.
can you see this other person becoming your best friend? I mean, this is a difficult question if you meet like from the first time or something. And then the third one is the like respect to one another. And I think that's is the same as you
Mm-hmm.
said, like independence. So nobody wants to like be
Mm-hmm.
responsible for the other person's emotions or like financials or anything like that.
Yes, yes, you're right. Spot on.
So if you had to, let's say, like give listeners a simple screening checklist for the first like 2 to 3 dates, what would
Mm-hmm.
it be actually?
Are you single? I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. But there have been studies done that show that 60% of people on gay dating apps and even the heterosexual dating apps are actually already in a relationship.
Oh no, really?
60%. So you have to
60.
make sure that they are already not like saying they're in a relationship with somebody else. So I think you have to clear that out first, like if you're trying to figure out that. Also, I think it's okay for gay men on the first date, it's okay to ask about sexual positions. Like,
Okay.
I think it's totally fine. Like, and you have to do it with tact. You don't have to say, hey, are you a top or are you a bottom? All you have to do is say, hey, typically in my relationships, maybe about 50% of the time I've topped, other 50% I have bottomed. And you can sit back and you listen and you see how the person's responding. Because if you are, this is particularly for people who are strict on sexual positions, where they're like, there's no flexibility. So you're strict top or strict bottom. Get that out the way. First date, or it should be on your dating profile. Like people should know that already, right?
True.
Uh, yeah. And I would also ask the person, what season are they in? Are they in the season of just trying to explore, experience dating? Or are they like, you know what? No, I know what I want. I'm actually looking to be in a committed relationship within the next 6, 12 months if the person meets these needs, right? I hate situationships. I hate that gray area where there's no expectation, there's no label. It only causes confusion. So you want to know on that first date what this person is looking for. Are they looking for something casual? Or are they trying to figure it out? Or do they actually want something serious? That'll help you be able to navigate the conversation and how to set the tone for the dating phase, or just end it right then and there and say, hey, nice meeting you. I don't think this is going to work out. Maybe I have a friend for you who might work better. Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't get over the 60%. I'm really like mind blown.
Hmm.
That's crazy. So actually the other day I had someone asking me like, okay, so I don't know what I want to do. Like I want to have a relationship, but at the same time, I don't want to have a relationship. I want to have a sex date, but I don't want to have a sex date. So in that situation, actually, what would you say? Like what should they do?
Don't approach someone who wants to date seriously because you're going to piss them off
Oh yeah.
because you're not sure what you want at this time, and that is okay. You should approach people and say, listen, sometimes I want a relationship, sometimes I don't. Right, so they know how to handle you. I don't think you should approach someone with false pretenses by saying, oh yes, I want a relationship, and then next week your mood changes and you don't. So just say, hey, I don't know what I want. I really don't. I think that person really should spend some time either reading some relationship books, spend some time alone, maybe working with a dating coach, going to a therapist, speaking to their spiritual leader, trying to figure out where they are and what is the next step. Like if you're saying, no, I want to stay in a phase where I'm just casually having sex with people, that exist in that. Like if you want to change, then figure out what do you need to change to move forward. But I think we are all a work in progress. So we should be really reflective on what do I need to do to get to the next level.
Exactly. And also communicating that with the other people so that you don't hurt people along the way while you're figuring yourself out.
Exactly, because you hear people say all the time, there's piss in a dating pool. And it's because of guys like that, because those guys don't know what they want and they approach guys with this false pretense of, oh yeah, I want to be in a relationship, knowing well they don't. They
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So what would you say are your top quiet red flags that predict future instability, even if the other person seems like perfectly fitting or charming or yeah.
Inconsistency. Like I sit back and I tell my clients, how does he operate? Like, does he if he started out with good morning text messages and calls and gifts, does that fade after a week? Right? Like if a guy is not consistent, he is telling you with his behaviors that he is not interested or someone else is entertaining him, or there's something going on in his life right now that is fully has his attention and he's not ready to actually date.
For example, in a
So
relationship.
he has to take his wife somewhere.
Exactly.
That is probably it. And then also, I think I mentioned this earlier. If someone can't be vulnerable with you, like if they can't share their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their heart with you, that's a red flag. Like if you're giving me surface level conversation about the weather, about what you did for work, but you can't tell me um, a secret or something that makes you nervous or uncomfortable, what the hell are we doing here? Like we're not connecting. We're literally not connecting. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. And even if someone needs some time, it would be actually a green flag, even if someone struggles with being vulnerable in front of another person. But if they are
Mm-hmm.
aware of that and then communicate it with you, like say, hey, I know like I'm not able to tell you about my past or my past relationships or something, but I just need some time to feel comfortable to share these things with you.
Yes, yes. And tell the person what you need to help you to get to that level, right? You
Exactly.
might it might be time, it might be them sharing something. Um, yeah, it might be something, but you got to give the person some help.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like be patient with the other person, but depending on
Hmm.
how they're communicating. Like also when it comes to the inconsistency with like texting or communication. I mean, there are people who are genuinely bad at texting,
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
because of bad intentions, but as long as they're aware of that and
Hmm.
they communicate that with you, it should also be fine. That actually could also be a green flag, not a red flag anymore.
Oh yeah, I get it. I'm horrible with text messages. My friends will tell you I will. There are two things I will leave on red. One is a text message, and I'm horrible at actually mailing physical items. Like it will sit in my car or my house forever. So you need to literally call me, or if I need to mail something, someone needs to come pick it up. Like you have to
Okay.
know your strengths and your weaknesses in the dating phase, so you can communicate that to other people.
Yeah, exactly. So on the other hand, what would be your like green flags that people usually skip or like don't
Mhm.
consider as something big, but from your perspective, it can
Mhm.
show a great compatibility potential?
Yeah, yeah. One thing, and some gay men don't have this, but a very close gay friend who you have not had sex with. Like that is a close, not somebody you see socially, but like a close friend that you have never had sex with. That shows me that you can develop intimate relationships with other people, right? You can form connections with other gay men without having sex, right? So I think
True.
that's one. Another one I think is really key is if a guy has like a sick parent or a family member that he actually physically helps to care for or financially take care of. Like that is the green flag if there's anything, because if a man is taking care of a family member, it shows that he's going to care for you
True.
throughout your relationship, even if something happens to you. Like it shows that he is committed to the people that he loves. If a guy says, "Oh yeah, my mom is over here. I know she's sick. I'll see her next week," that is scary. That
Yeah.
that I like. Would you guys cast me to the side if something happens? Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true.
yeah.
So So, like we talked about, having this open communication about the expectations, like whether the person is more into monogamy or open relationships, top,
Mm-hmm.
bottom, all of these questions. So, what would you like if someone feels like, okay, this is the first date, it's too early to ask something like that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you usually suggest, like one sentence or a way of asking to bring up this like expectations topic, but in a
Mm-hmm.
confident, non-needy way?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's definitely a first date conversation. I like it. It is like within the first. It doesn't have to be within the first 15 minutes, but
Okay.
definitely within the first. If you're doing a 2 hour date, that first hour you need to talk about like, hey, you know what? I have typically been in relationships that are monogamous. And I've been in those type of relationships because they make me feel secure, X, Y, and Z. I'm all about, guys sharing their fantasies, but I really like to be in a monogamous relationship. What about
Yeah.
you? I'm like, and
Yeah.
what about you? Right? Like, it's not saying you have to do this, but you're inquiring. So the guy can say, well, me too, or no, I've been in poly relationships before. And I'm like, oh, okay, here's the key. I'm like, oh, well, tell me more about that. There's no judgment. I think
True.
if we want people to be honest, we have to present a non-judgmental front. And it's a front because we all are judgmental, but your face should not say you're being judgmental because you want the
Exactly.
guy to give you the truth. So allow him to give you the truth and be curious about what he talks about, the type of relationship that he wants.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if someone sees like having this conversation on the first date as something weird or needy, then it's also
Mm-hmm.
a red flag, right? That this person, there's no compatibility between the two people then.
Yeah, yeah, because they're not being intentional, and
Exactly.
it lets me know that you just want to exist in confusion, and you may even want a situationship, and if that's what you want, get someone else to do it because this is not most of the guys I work with. They want something intentional. They want and they appreciate labels and titles. What the hell are we? Like, are we dating? Are we dating exclusive? Are you my partner? Not, I don't know. We're just going with the flow. No, we want titles.
Exactly.
We want titles.
Yeah, sounds actually, yeah, sounds really good. So are we ready for a mini game?
Sure. I am down for the mini game.
I'm calling it the matchmaker verdict.
Okay.
So I will give you some scenarios, and for each scenario, you can then say proceed, pause, or pass, and then give a little explanation. How does that sound?
Proceed, pause, or pass. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first scenario would be amazing date, but they only text late at night.
Pass.
Pass. What do you say that?
Oh, you need to communicate with me during the daytime because you're letting me know you are you have a partner. You have a partner, or you're only interested in having sex with me.
Oh, okay. But what about like
Pass.
these people who say, hey, yeah, like I've just known you. I cannot just make time for you like all of the sudden. I need some time to incorporate you into my day-to-day life. I'm a very busy person. What would you say to that?
You have a lunch break. You get off work at a certain time, right? You get off work at a certain time.
You eat?
So you go to eat. You take a nap. Sometimes you go to the gym. We are not talking about 2 hour conversations. A
Exactly.
five a 5 minute conversation does great. A quick 30-second text. Hey, I'm not going to be free until later on tonight, or I want to schedule a time to see you. 30 seconds. It takes literally. You can do that while you're sitting on the toilet.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Everybody poops.
You are not that busy. Just say you are not that motivated in the relationship yet. Say that.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
say you're
true.
not. You're too busy. Say I'm just not motivated yet.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, second scenario would be They push for exclusivity fast before you've even seen any consistency.
Pause and say, hey, if you want to take it to the next level, here's what I need to experience.
Okay. Then let's see, let's take this one. They say they want a relationship, but they don't do labels.
Pass. We
Okay.
like we like titles, we like labels.
Okay. What if like they don't want to be put in a box, but they're still figuring out like they just want to
Pass.
explore this con
Pass. Because we like to know what the hell we're doing. And if you're in that phase, go figure that out with somebody else.
Okay. Okay, last one. I hope it's a pass. We haven't had a pass yet. So they are great one-on-one, but they hide you in public or around friends.
That's another pass. Pass. If I can't see your friends and you hide me, I'm nobody's secret. I'm too
Okay.
good of a person to be a secret.
Okay, how about like a pause and asking for a clarification?
Mm-mm.
No,
We
just
don't
pass.
exist in I don't think any relationship should exist with secrets or hiding anything. You are modeling how you want this relationship to be when you're doing the dating phase. So if you feel like you have to intentionally hide me, you are letting me know when we get into a relationship there are potential things that you may also hide from me. So I'm going to not try to change you. I'm just going to go block you and go date somebody else.
Yeah, that is very, I like your style. I think if for anybody who's listening and they want someone who's like direct, no fluff around, no like
Mhm.
give them a 10,000 chances a kind of coach, then Lamont is your guy.
Because my guys end up in genuine, authentic, secure, long term, healthy relationships. We don't have to waste our times with guys who want to figure things out, who think they have to hide us, who like with all that foolishness. Like I'm 45 years old. My guys are around the same age. We know what we want. Like if you're still in your early teens and early 20s, yes, you're figuring things out. You're exploring it. But at this age, we want something a little deeper. Yeah, we
No,
want
no time for
something. Yeah.
games.
No, no, no.
All right. So if a listener is tired of repeating the same pattern, what's one change that would really create the biggest difference in who they attract and choose?
Yeah, so you have to pick the guys that you want, right? So if you there's a prototype of a guy that you're like, these are the types of guys that I want to date. You have to figure out, are you their type? And if you are their type, great. You need to figure out ways that you can go to places where they are and show them who you are. So that means you literally have to leave your house. You have to introduce yourself to people. You have to move in a certain manner so that you can attract those types of guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's put very beautifully. So basically, stop chasing.
Yes, you have to chase. It is okay to chase. If you chase, you will get what you want. If you sit back and wait, you will get any and everything that will come your way.
Yeah, but like stop chasing the guys who are like you're not their type. So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So
Yes.
stop chasing the unavailable, but it's okay to chase the available.
Absolutely.
All right, Lemon, that was really so grounding and very like honest and open. I really like your style of like giving your opinion. I think it gives a lot of clarity to the person you're talking with or coaching. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. And if you're listening and you want a relationship that actually works, the goal isn't to date harder, it's to choose better and stop abandoning yourself in the process. So I will share. Do you have any upcoming events actually, Lamont?
So I'm planning a virtual speed dating event. Hopefully, I'll post that within the next few weeks. If folks want to find where my information is, it's online, betterwaytomeet.com.
All right, yeah, I will share this link in the podcast episode. So if anyone wants to approach you, then you can just click on the link in the description. So yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, for the listeners, if you have a story you want to share on Ghosted, Gagged, and Gay, please don't hesitate. No matter how funny, messy, heartbreaking, or healing it is, you can always book a call with me. You can book a call with Lamont, depending on what you want. And if you want any kind of support to break the patterns, please always seek help. Don't hesitate because that's already the first step to healing that you're actually listening to a podcast like that. And yeah, be proud of yourself and anything you want to add, Lamont, before we end the episode?
I don't. Thank you so much for having me as a guest. This was awesome.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so much. And until the next episode, be kind to each other and especially to yourselves. And until then, bye bye.